79th at Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Ingham, Curtis Ennis, know that we been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th at Halas.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is 79th and Halas, episode 206. Man, as usual, it's your guy, Scott and Flo is here on this Victory Tuesday on October 25th, 2022. How you feeling? Big Bears win last night. Did you didn't watch any of the game?
No, I watched the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Why are you breathing like Darth Vader on the mic right now?
What were niggas saying about Justin Fields? All I hear is quiet. It's quiet right now. And keep it that way, nigga. Oh, my man. The Ohio State quarterback don't gonna watch it. Shut up. My man's is fine. Like any quarterback ever. Because you're seeing it happen live with several Hall of Fame quarterbacks that you need to game plan around them and put good players around them. I think the funny thing is we would say, the Patriots had nobody for years. No, they had players who weren't flashy, but were tough and caught the ball. That's how they succeeded. They didn't throw niggas out there. It was always a process. And you're seeing that with Tom Brady struggling. Oh, he's older. Nigga was fine last year. Niggas show you see Aaron Rodgers, another person who was fine last year, who is struggling this year. Because why? His supporting cast stinks.
Yeah. And Brady's offensive line stinks.
Exactly. They all have to work for a player to be good. Russell Wilson, great last year, stinks this year. I mean, his offensive coordinator is a fraud too. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
But these things play into it. Like, I feel like even with Lamar Jackson, of course I think he's one of the best quarterbacks out right now. But also he's still missing that number one. If he had a number one who he could constantly trust, and his number one is Mark Andrews, which as far as tight ends go, he's a good tight end. But he's not the person who's going to be a speedster tight end like George Kittle. I don't want to say speedster like Kelsey, but Kelsey is sneaky. It's not what Mark Andrews is. So every quarterback needs players around them that make them successful. If they don't have that, the very least they need is successful and efficient play calling. Justin got that yesterday, and Justin looked much, much, much better. Arguably the best game of his career after saying the same thing at the Vikings game. So,
it's low-key been a slow progression over the last couple of weeks.
And I said that literally after the worst game of his career when he two picks. What was that?
Was it the Texans game?
Could have been.
Was it the Texans game? I know they won that one, but we got on the pod. We felt dirty.
Yeah. So, putting that into perspective, I said ever since then, it's just been on uptick. People said, "Oh, you nigga trash." I'm like, I'm not sure what you're saying. I was like, it's a slow progression into getting better. And I'm at the point where it's like, I just want to see incremental change. That doesn't mean there won't be some bumpy hills along the way, but NFL is a change in lead, man. Look at Mac Jones last year was considered to be arguably the best of the rookie QBs last year. He was smooth. The offense was flowing. You took away the person who made that offense flow for a fraud in Patricia, and he getting benched for Bailey Zapp out of Western Kentucky, the 6th round.
And even look at Bailey Zapp. Everybody was on his dick in the first half, and the Bears was like, "All right, we pack some too." Like, they calmed that down real quick. And by the way, for our new listeners, by the way, this is 79th and Halas. Of course, I got to do the beginning of the intro. We didn't do the intro here. Follow us on Twitter at BarbChair Scott, at Flows Andolini, at BarbersChairNet, at 79th AND Halas on Twitter. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/BarbersChair Network. We got all different tiers for you guys. Also visit the bcnet.com. We got a lot of stuff coming, man. So look out for that. There will be no summer sessions this week because tomorrow's my birthday, nigga. So happy birthday to me, nigga. So there'll be no I'm not gonna hold you in no summer sessions this week because I'm not recording. As soon as we get done all this, I'm not doing shit until I have to go to the Clippers game on Sunday. So back to what we were saying on here, though.
But yeah, so I don't know, man. when I tweet during live games, because me and Scott won't be at the Bears Cowboys game, and we weren't at the New England game just because a lot of traveling to do for someone who has to work the next day.
And it's in fucking Foxborough. It's not even in Boston. It's like an hour away from Boston. If it was in Boston, I at least would have tried to go, like, see what the fuck is up in Boston. It was an hour from Boston.
So it's just a lot of having a full-time job and doing this is just a lot. So we won't be there for the Dallas game either, even though I really wanted to see the stadium. Have to do it another time. But
we will be at every game starting at the Dolphins game.
Yeah,
for the rest of the year. So
I say that to say that I'm at that point now where I don't. When I tweet during games, I'm excited, I'm anxious, I'm angry, and I tweet what's on my heart because that's how Bears fans feel, and I haven't stopped being a Bears fan because I covered them. So I make sure to give my authentic feelings and my authentic takes on the game. But when I look back and give myself some time to breathe and think, I think to myself, I don't care about the record, and I still don't. That being said, the Bears win does feel good. I was talking to a few of my coworkers who were Bears fans, and my coworkers who aren't Bears fans but know I love the Bears said, "Oh, I know that win must have made you feel good." Yeah, it did. It did make me feel good, but it's not because it was a win that made me feel good. As we said, they beat the Texans, and I was like, it's the way it was played. It was an efficient game. It was domination. The Bears could have scored 40 points if they just punched it in, but obviously you don't want to beat up on your opponent. I would have. That's why I make a terrible coach. I would have punched it in right there. I don't went for it on every single down.
On a side note, Aaron Donald just left Donda Sports. Everybody's getting off the boat.
Kanye's an idiot, and I wish nothing but the worst for him.
Oh, man, fuck that dude. Anyway, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, yeah. So, it's just, I say that to say, I'm at that point now where I just don't, we look at Brian Dabble and he's doing a great job with the Giants, like really unexpected. They're 6-1 or they're 5-1?
They're 6-1.
6-1. It's like, what? And they got trash throwing the ball. Daniel Jones is not good. But he made the most of the talent around him. You still have Saquon Barkley, who I still think is a generational talent. And if he continues to have and stays healthy, have a legendary career, I still think that draft pick was worth it because I love a good running back. And teams around the NFL are showing you still can't skimp out on running backs. Seahawks skimped out on running backs for years until now they landed with Michigan State running back. I don't remember his name because it's Michigan State. I don't care. Shout out to Isaiah. Michigan State stinks. You saw the game, Isaiah. We beat the crap out of y'all. Anyway, you can't, huh?
No, I say he's talking to you, Isaiah.
You can't skip out on running backs. So I say that to say Brian Dabble makes the most of them. But what would it look like next year? When everybody in the league got film on you, when it's time to adjust, how will you look? The Bears were great in Nagy's first
year. We call that the Nagy thing.
It's the Nagy effect. Even though this has been happening decades before Matt Nagy, I'm going to now call it the Nagy effect. His first year, the Bears looked like a good team. It looked like, Scott saw through it earlier, is what he says. He's capping.
No, I'm not. Week 11 against the Rams is when I officially got off the boat.
He got off the boat in the playoffs. Don't let him.
No, I got off before then.
But I say that to say, I said that to say 3 times that I want to give it time. I like what I'm seeing. Ryan Poles, I know he had an impromptu press conference in the press box, which I wish I would have been there. Shout out to Herb. He got Bill Belichick to answer a question longer than 4 seconds. So shout out to him. It was a really good question he asked about the Justin Fields' athleticism. But to see the Bears players that they've drafted, specifically, I'm only focusing on Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker. Jaquan he's gonna be a freaking star. I mean, that's like the best possible pick to put next to Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
That is a pick I would say that's just a great move. And Kyler is getting more and more confident. Everybody else, as I said, you still should have got offense. I don't care. You still should have got a non-25-year-old rookie. And I still think he should take flack for not getting a wide receiver. Because George Pickens still doing fine. So
you could have got both.
That's what you could have got George Pickens and you could have got Jaquan Brisker. We would have not had Kyler Gordon, but you would have had George Pickens.
Yeah.
So whatever. But I said to say I'm in a position now, and Bears fans should be, as I wrap this up, you don't have to be overly critical. You also don't have to be overly sympathetic. You don't have to say, oh, you should scroll. They're growing this offense. But you don't have to say, this is trash. And If you go back on St. Anthony Halas tweets, I have been with some of the people who say, "Oh, this is trash. This is terrible. I can't stand this," because I'm gonna let my emotions out. I'm not gonna be, any other account or any other journalist and just, what is the word? Try to be even keeled. No, that's not who I am, and that's why we're independent. We can do what we want. But when I have a time to sit back and digest it, it's time for the Bears to make incremental changes. Justin looked so confident last night. The offensive line did its job. Justin has a fumbling problem that has not been fixed, but whatever. We'll get past it. That's just something.
Was that on Justin or was that the rain last night?
It probably was the rain. But Justin still is loose with the ball. He didn't have to deal with that at Ohio State or when he was at Georgia briefly or when he was playing as a young.
Well, Ryan Clark pointed it out. The time he did fumble was in the pocket. The few times they had him in the pocket, it just didn't go well.
He was a pocket passer at Ohio State. So I don't act like he's not, but he was. You have to take complete advantage of who the player is. You're not going to sit Lamar Jackson back 100% of the time. You're going to move him, but you also allow him to move. You can do all those things so they set up each other because he's a dynamic quarterback, and there are no more pocket passers anyway. Move the pocket, and I like the game. I like the way
Tom Brady's the last pocket passer.
Yeah, Tom Brady's like pocket pass, and that ain't working out well this year.
Yeah,
he's still to go. But I like what I saw yesterday. But it was a well called game. It just was well called. So it was definitely A+ game for me. Justin looked fantastic. Yeah, my take.
Well, for me, just a little, opening thoughts on. I thought I did put a little step in, a little pep in my step this morning. You know what I'm saying? It feels good when the Bears win. We don't have these feelings a lot, and it was just a good night in general because I thought both teams were going to get destroyed on that. Not on national TV because Bulls weren't on national TV, but by both Boston teams. And
I when the Bulls were down 18, I was like, that makes sense. And then I turned away because it's football season. I don't care about basketball. I was like, we're up 18. What?
Yeah. I didn't watch. I only watched a 15 minutes game. But I remember I saw at the end of the game, they were down like 18, 19. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And then I saw somebody tweet, damn, the Bulls beating the Celtics ass. I was like, what? And I saw the score, and it was up like 20. So, to have that and then to have the Bears hold on to, it was just a good night, man. But one thing that it's funny how 10, 11 days can change things. Like on the last podcast we did, we were up here ranting about, the future of the team, is Ryan Poles and, is he leaving Justin and Flukes out to dry with this amount of no talent they have around him. And we were talking about how like all the different national media, networks are starting to figure out too that, you should be using Justin the same way the Eagles use Jalen Hurts or the way the Bills use Josh Allen, and that rant that Richard Sherman went on. Now I feel like every Bears fan understood. And it was just like, if Richard Sherman can see this, if Scott Van Pelt can see this, why don't the Bears see this? And, coming into this game, I just had no hope. I was like, let's just get this shit over with. It's the last primetime game of the year for the Bears. Let's get this national embarrassment over with. Yeah. And then, just the way they came out in the first drive, Justin, doing all his passes, the move in the pocket, and him designed runs. I was like, oh shit, this is the shit that we were talking about. And
I think modern offense.
Yeah, and I didn't get hyped right away because how we've always seen over the last couple of years the Bears, the scripted plays look well. So in the first drive looked well. Then the next couple was back to the Bears football that we all know and love.
Back to the projects.
Back to the bando. We saw the movement, and it's just like, oh shit, did Getsy finally find out shit that everybody's been saying for the longest? This is how you should use Justin. And on top of that, before the game, seeing Ryan Poles come out to meet the media randomly, which he doesn't do, and basically going up there and doubling down and doubling down and saying that, no, I don't regret nothing that I did. Now, of course, no GM, even if they did regret, is going to go up there and say that. And that's what I was trying to tell I responded a certain way, but that just because I know they're going to do it doesn't make me have to be happy about it. And I think a couple of my followers like, well, no, what GM is going to say that? Like, obviously, but that doesn't mean I like what I heard. So, but he went up there and, and I guess a lot of people's looking like, yo, this dude is fucking delusional. I know he's coming. I know he probably had a nice cigar last night. Like, fuck y'all. Just be patient. I was at practice the last 11 days. I think I saw the changes that they made. And it was just something that, to me, the biggest key in this entire game was when Bailey Zappi came in the game and they just go on a tear. 14 straight points. Gillette Stadium is rocking, and we're like, okay, this is where the downfall comes. Like, we had a nice little quarter, but back to the Bears that we all know. Justin threw an interception, which wasn't on him. It was a tip ball. And I feel like half of Justin's career picks have been tip balls.
Tip balls are a plague in the league right now.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, tip ball it should not be a quarterback interception.
No.
If it's off the receiver or a tip ball, it should not be on the quarterback. I will stand by it. It should be like unearned runs in baseball.
Exactly. And that makes so much common sense. Exactly. You would say, this is not the pitcher's fault. Why would I put this on him?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, oh, okay, this pitcher just gave up, just threw a bacon double cheeseburger down the middle. Yeah, this is his fault.
Exactly. All runs, like, it's not going to be on Lance Lynn if Tim Anderson fucked the bobble up. So that's pretty much what I think it should be with quarterbacks. So I was like, okay, but what happened? They drive it right back. They drive it right back down the field. And it's the thing that you got to understand. And Alex Brown said this on the post game on NBC Sportsnet. The Bears have never beaten the Patriots in Gillette Stadium. Alex Brown was like, some of our best teams went to Gillette Stadium and couldn't lose. Now, granted, they were playing Tom Brady. Tom Brady, Bailey Zappi, two different things.
Let's hold on for a second there.
Yeah, so obviously two different things. But that's a big win off a team that you got to understand. The landscape of sports media the last week, all the Bears gonna get blown out by the Patriots. Everybody was talking about the Patriots sneaking to the playoffs, and this defense is amazing. That's why you have to give me more credit. They did against a solid defense. Matthew Judon was all over the goddamn field.
Yep.
And that touchdown that Justin had to Khalil Herbert, if Patrick Mahomes did that, they'd be still be playing that shit on loop right goddamn now.
It's such a mature play. Like you say, oh well, Khalil Herbert ran it in. I'm like, yeah, but he knew that you have someone coming off the edge at me. If I throw it where I'm originally going to, it's going to get tipped and picked. Then it would have been his decision, his fault to make. But he said, you know what? No, I'm going to pump it and then sidearm it. And so it's the same as the pick last week against the Commanders. And I said it was a sidearm. He was trying to fit the ball in there, and this was literally what's his name was saying. What Eberflus was saying, he was like, no, I don't blame him for that. He was trying to fit the ball into where he could. So I'm not going to blame him for that pass. I was like, I'm glad you did, because that's the 100% truth. It wasn't his fault. And so this one, seeing him, and he's learning. It's like when you're watching The Matrix and you see Morpheus say, he is the one. Yeah. Like, he understands who he is. He understands how good he is, and he's making smart decisions and smart plays. And that was that one where he was like, he knows what he's doing.
I feel like Melisandre, when she was like, it's the prince that was promised. That's how I feel about watching Justin last night. And also, that was also roughing the quarterback, roughing the passer on that touchdown. And everybody else, if that was any other quarterback, they'd have got suspended. But, like, Justin just doesn't get these calls for whatever fucking reason. But, in a half, they went 11 of 18 on third down, which is an incredible number. 10 of those 11 conversions were by Justin himself, whether through air or through legs. And just to see, like, it was dual threat. It was dual threat. Use his leg. It's like they just figured out that he runs a fucking 4-4. Like, you have to do what you have to do, because Sam Mustafa is a fucking double agent.
Is a waste man.
He's a waste man. Like, and granted, it was only one drive, but I really like what I saw from Lucas Patrick in that first drive. Yeah. And I hope that toe injury isn't too bad. Now, of course, Flu said today they're still evaluating. They don't know. So I'm guessing we'll know, closer to Thursday or whatever. So that's just something where I feel like, I'm tired of Sam Mustafa. I don't know what dirt he has with somebody, but it's like, I thought we was out the doghouse. He comes in. So you have to keep moving around, because that dude sucks. There was one play where I don't know what the fuck he was trying to block, and it was just ridiculous. But I got excited because they kept doing it. It wasn't like one of those two. You know how we used to see during the Nagy days where it'd be the one or two drives that make sense. Then Nagy get back doing the same bullshit he's been doing. So my question to you, because I'm excited, but I want to give it till at least the next game I go to, which is the Detroit game, to see if they stay consistent with this plan. Because I'm scared, because as a Bears fan, I'm scared that next week they will get back doing the same bullshit they've been doing. Do you think, are you confident that Getsy has finally figured out the common sense way to use Justin? This is going to be the blueprint going forward the rest of the season?
No. I haven't seen anything that would make me reliable, maybe confidently say yes. And this is the part where, if you're a fan, you can just, be honest with yourself. I have not seen from Getsy I don't want to,
the consistency.
Yeah, I was going to say competence, but the consistency to say, okay, now we can do this. Because part of it is he may have come into here with the same offense he had for Aaron Rodgers. They manipulate the pocket with Aaron Rodgers, but you don't run design runs with Aaron Rodgers. That's not his strength. Aaron Rodgers' biggest strength is his own manipulation of the pocket. Okay, I got people coming off the edge rushing at me. I'm going to step up. I'm going to move to the side, allow my tackles to set up blocks again. Like that's Aaron Rodgers' biggest skill. And I want to say outside of Tom Brady, I don't know if there's ever been a quarterback as good as manipulate the pocket. Tom Brady does it subtly. It's a step up. It's a two-step here. You know, Peyton Manning as well, but Tom Brady, I think Aaron Rodgers, I think it's a little better. I don't know if he came into the Bears thinking, I'm going to run this same offense. And then realizing, but you have a 4-4 quarterback. And then you realize you have to change that up. Yeah. And so it may be the fact that he was stubborn to think I'm going to stick with my game plan, which is smart because you shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater immediately. But now he may have to.
Old nigga saying.
I know. But he may have to revamp his offense. I don't say from the ground up, from at least the second floor up, though. And if that's the case, it's going to take time. And so I don't expect it to change overnight. And I won't ever since Matt Nagy, I have no confidence in coaches until I see it. Matt Eberflus will have my support when he wins a Super Bowl.
Damn, that's what
it is. That's what it is.
So he don't get his support till he wins the Super Bowl?
Or if he goes to the NFC Championship, puts up 54, and the other team puts up 56. I'll say, well, you know, the defense just messed up. It was a shootout, surely, but you did, hey, man, put up 54. You know what I'm saying? That's the level of scrutiny that I'm going to keep. I'm going to say the level of pragmatism that I'm going to keep. I'm a very pragmatic man. I do not do things. I am not optimistic about anything.
Sound like Bob Saget on Entourage. I'm not crazy. I'm pragmatic.
Yeah, I don't want to be overly optimistic because I'm a philosopher. My background is philosophy and theology, and it is required of those who study to think realistically and think with the information that you're given. And so I'm never going to be overly optimistic. But in that same vein, if I'm going to be a logician, to be thoroughly deductive or inductive, I'm not going to be a pessimist either. Both are two sides of the extreme. I'm a pragmatist. And so as a pragmatist, I'm thinking, we'll see. And that's my whole point. We'll see. I know Justin's good. And that's bias coming in because I've loved the Buckeyes since I was a child. First football game I've ever seen was them. I want to say they were playing the team up north, or it may have been Wisconsin. I was very young. And I've hated Michigan since Mike Hart was there. I hope Mike Hart's doing well, by the way. And so that's how far my support for Ohio State goes back. It goes back to the 90s. And then me understanding the rivalry when I guess Mike Hart was there when I was like 14, 15, 13, something like that. So I do have bias when it comes to Justin Fields, obviously, because he's a Buckeye. The only person who's a suspect on my list right now is C.J. Stroud, but that's another story. So I do hope for the best, and I do think he is the person to break that Buckeye QB curse. But I still think there's enough evidence to show that there's a star within this kid. Whereas in Mitch, we were sitting there going, huh?
It was for Mitch. It was like simple shit. Like it's like I feel like Justin
he ain't improved it yet.
No, he hasn't. I feel like Justin
this is his fifth year, sixth.
He came in 2017. It's fifth year.
No, sixth year. It's 2022.
Yes, sixth season. Yeah, but it's the same thing. But it's like I feel like with Justin in the year and a half, well, really the year that he's been starter, because he got named starter a year ago by Matt Nagy. In the year he's been a starter, I've seen more splash plays from Justin than I did the entire 4 years that Mitch was a Bear.
Yeah.
Like by far. And it's like it's one of those things where, you know, everybody's like, and like I said, Mitch is a good guy. Oh, I don't blame Mitch for what happened.
He didn't pick himself second.
He didn't pick himself second, and I still think it was a Nagy issue more than it was a Mitch issue. Now, that doesn't mean that Mitch was good. Mitch was ass. To be very clear. I know today, especially today on Twitter, I know it's very hard to explain to people that you can walk into chew gum. And, you know, with topics they ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about today, but I know it's two things can be true at once. Mitch was ass, and the main problem was Matthew Nagy. But Justin is a different thing. And it's not just us. It's not just us Bears fans. National people saying it. Yeah. National people saying, like, I was watching, like, Keyshawn Johnson has been saying it for months. He's like, the kid is good. You just got to put some people around him. Like you said, you gotta look at the situation. Nobody's going to do bail in this situation. And so I think that, the format that they had today, last night, should be the blueprint going forward. Now I'm with you, Joe. I gotta see it. We're at this point in our Bears fandom, and I was trying to explain this to people because they can't believe that super diehard live by every pass Scott is dead, but he's dead and he's not coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm pessimistic too. I gotta see it. If I walk into Soldier pragmatist. Pragmatic. If I walk into Soldier Field on November 13th and this is the third game in a row, and I'm like, yo, the last couple games they've been using the same strategy, then I'm feeling good about the rest of the season. I don't give a fuck about wins and losses. It's about getting Justin better and just get him through the season alive. If you can do this alive, then now you allow Poles to do whatever plan he's got. I still don't know what the fuck the plan is. And do whatever plan he's got. At least okay, if Justin did this with god-awful options, if I give him even decent options, he should be able to take it to another fucking level. That's what I want to see for the rest of the damn season. And they're going to get a bigger test coming up because, only a 6-day break. They're going to be on the road, and this Dallas Cowboy defense is for real. Micah Parsons is going to have a field day. Like that. That's just
didn't look like it last week, but sure.
What you mean? Against Detroit?
Week before.
Who they played the week before? It was Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he got neutralized.
Yeah, they have a better offensive line than we do.
That's true. Very true.
Now
they do. It's not we. We're not the Bears.
Yeah, okay. I've done pretty good on that. Get off my dick. But they have a better offensive line than the Bears do. The Lions have a better offensive line than the Bears do. Michael Parsons is going to feast on this offensive line. Also, this is a game where Justin can't hold that ball too long because Diggs will pick him off. Now, Diggs can be had. And Diggs is one of those corners where he either getting burned or he getting the pick, and there's no in between. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be a special, not special, but like an instant type of game. If they go into this and it's a game in the fourth quarter, Justin's alive, you're moving the ball, I'm gonna feel really fucking good about the rest of the season and development here. So next question I want to see, we talking about Flus. How big is this win for Flus and the coaching staff going forward as far as, okay, now we might have something to build on here? And like this, now, of course, you say you're not going to praise Flus, obviously, but is there anything about this game that, okay, I liked what I saw from Flus in this one?
Yeah, I liked, obviously, with the head coach and the defensive coach, they have to create a game plan. With the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, you have to create a game plan, and I liked what they executed. It was constant. It was dominating. It was consistent. So I praise for that. I praise them for having this team ready and motivated, even though they were on a skid. And I praise them for not looking at the Patriots like they're a behemoth, because that's what Bill Belichick created for over 20 years. And instead looking at they're just a team in our way and we got to win, and not losing hope when being 2-4. So I like that from him. But, I don't really care about words that, I see in the locker room post-game speech. None of that matters to me. You know what I mean? It matters how you produce. So he gives praise to me because I'm not going to just be critical for no reason. So I like what I see, but that was last week. On to a new week in football.
No, I agree.
And football is about what have you done for me lately?
Yep.
That's true. Mac Jones and Zappy, that's man. That still shocks me. I'm like, he was a solid QB last year. Now Bill Belichick was like, put Zappy in. Like it's just crazy to me. This is a 6th round of Western Kentucky, I believe. If I'm wrong, please correct me, because I'm not gonna look it up. So
I have no idea. Yeah,
it's literally football is what have you done for me lately? And so I'm going to take that into account when we're talking about Matt Eberflus. It's just, what have you done lately? What are you doing here to improve? How are you preparing the Bears to be better the next week?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that I think I like how the team's prepared, especially coming off a terrible loss to the Commanders. Really, Justin was robbed of glory 3 times in the last 2 weeks. At the end of the Vikings game, and twice at the end of
Western
the
Kentucky.
game.
Yeah, I was right.
I think to have the team in with all the shit, and the Bears was in the news like a motherfucker over this mini bye week. They were getting killed in the media. They were getting killed by us. and getting killed by everybody. And for him to just have the team prepared to come out here on the road on Monday Night Football and get a W. And a big situation, Bill Belichick was trying to pass George Halas for the most wins in NFL history. And also,
so basically, we did them with what the Dolphins did to the Bears in '85.
Pretty much.
What does it say? The Bears, there was a sign when the Bears lost in '85, and it was some or so. The Bears would never know 17-0. And it's like, you all sucked that season, but you didn't beat us to claim
they had
that.
the whole 72. Remember when who was the running back name? I forgot the run. Remember he was on the media every week doing the Patriots 17-0 season.
Yeah.
He was like, I was like, who the fuck is this old nigga? Like, it was the same shit every week. But it's like, and that was actually the greatest thing to happen for the Bears because it focused them back up. But and also Fluke said he talked to the McCaskey family before, and basically they better not let him break my daddy record against us.
Yeah, like, not against us. Do it against somebody else.
Yeah, let it happen next week.
He's gonna get the record, obviously.
Oh, real, yeah.
But not against us.
Yeah, obviously not against them. So I just like how he had it prepared. I like how Gessie looked. I like how Allen Williams looked. It was just a good overall game.
I always love seeing a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator on the field.
Yeah.
I really wish most coordinators were on the field because your assistants are up there. They can watch the field and relay information for you. Be out there with your peoples. You know what I'm saying? Get in the trenches with them. Get in the mud with them. Show your excitement. Show your disapproval. Show that you're paying attention to them and be able to talk to them efficiently. I think there's always it's just me because I have a old football mentality that coordinate. When you're a coordinator, you need to coordinate. That means to physically be there, not just punching numbers and looking with some binoculars on the field.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like one of those things where, I feel like Gessie had everything put together. I love how he used different wide receivers. I understand it was N'Keal Harry's first game, but he's a big dude.
It seems like Gessie, the fraud was LaFleur and Hackett, not Gessie?
Yeah, not Gessie.
Hackett is, oh my God.
Hackett is just bad. I think it's a mix of Hackett being back, and I also just think Russ is losing it. But because a lot of that shit just be looking like Russ.
Father Time is just undefeated, but it's also crazy how someone can get so washed in the season.
Father Time is having a hell of a week.
It's like with Michael Jordan, that's never really a decline. In '98, he was averaging 28, but he wasn't as quick, and you could see it. But
look at Wizards Jordan. Father Time got that nigga.
He averaged 23 points.
Yeah, I know.
40.
Yeah, but still,
he didn't. There was no point where he looked terrible. Russell Wilson went.
Yeah, I mean,
like
Father
Jordan
Time.
Several years often did this. It's a little decline. Russ went.
Sunday was a classic example of we in a new era. To see the way Aaron went out, see the way Brady went out, and then LeBron missing that game winner against the Blazers. Like, damn, niggas not 0-3 no more.
I don't care about witnessing greatness. I want LeBron out the league. It does me so good to know you're a title chaser, which fine. Every player should be a title chaser, but you jumped around to another team because you saw an opportunity to bring a big there like AD. You thought you're gonna win you hella rings, and now your roster is garbage. You deserve it. Don't worry, he's gonna jump ship again. I think he has one more move left in before he retires.
Nah, he signed that extension. He's retiring the Lakers.
Brother, they're not gonna win a title in the next 6 years.
It don't matter. He just want to live out here. That's why he signed the extension. I think LeBron is fully aware. He's fully aware he's not winning the championship again. And I think he's fine with that.
And that Mickey Mouse ring in the bubble.
He finna break Kareem record.
It still counts, but whatever.
Does it? I don't know. I don't count bubble sports. I'm sorry. I think the further we get away from the bubble, the less people care about bubble sports. And I think the only one who actually gets a remote pass will be the Bucks for two reasons. One, Tom Brady was gonna win that shit any goddamn way. Two, there was actual people in the Super Bowl.
There were people there. Yeah.
There were actual people in the Super Bowl. Shout out to the real Jaleel in the chat room, man. He says Sam Musford needs to be shipped off to Rikers Island. Yes, he should be doing time in Guantanamo.
Sam Musford is not an NFL center. I wish him the best. I know he blocks people on Twitter, and I get that. Sam, if you listen to this podcast, the best thing for you to do is to stop searching your name. Enjoy yourself. Make your profile private. Follow the people you want to follow. Probably don't follow sports pundits. Don't follow me because I'm a slanderer if you do terribly. But he's just not an NFL caliber center. He's just not.
Yep.
I really wish Doug Kramer, was not on IR so he could take his spot and jump ahead of him on the depth chart and be the backup to Lucas Patrick. What's the update on Lucas Patrick?
Yeah.
What is the update? I'm asking you.
I said earlier, like they don't know. They say they're still evaluating.
God help me.
So Well, pretty much, man. I want to talk about this defense too. Well, actually, before I get to defense, one thing I was going to say about N'Keal Harry was he's a big dude, and he only had one reception, but I think they should use him more like a tight end role if they're going to continue to use. I think Colcom has been good as good as he can get the last couple weeks. He's been doing more blocking. I really like what I saw. That nice, real big catch in that third quarter. Justin was a great throw on the run, but I feel like even though N'Keal is not a tight end, he's a big dude, and I feel like you can use him in a tight end type of way, and now help expand the offense a little more. We saw more Darnell Mooney. I saw more EQ, and then more of that, more of those type of passes. You know what I'm saying? To do that, and
I still think EQ can be better than what he is now.
Oh, 100%. But it's also those two, like Justin overthrew like twice. There was a couple where it could have been some touchdowns. And I think Taylor Rooks tweeted this. She was like, "Yeah, he missed a couple throws, but you can see it." She said it's not there, but it's right there. Like, so people who are actually watching the game, you can see the dude's close. But we've been talking about the offense the whole. Let's talk about the defense. Defense was great. 4 turnovers last night, 3 interceptions. Jaquan Brisker, that fucking interception, bro, was just
terrible pass. Should have never been made.
But he flew out of the sky. And this is after Mac Jones hit him in the dick, and that was a dirty play. And I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought that, because what's his face? Marcus Spears said that. Darius Butler said it was a dirty play. So I'm glad I'm not the only person. I thought I was being a fan. But here's also stats from Jaquan Brisker. Through 7 games this season, he has 42 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery on 447 of 448 total defensive snaps played. That dude looks like he's a fucking superstar. Kyler Gordon is stacking games. Yeah. He's stacking games. He's getting better. He's playing through. Had an interception. Could have been a pick six. Feel like his legs just ran out of gas at the end.
Yeah. He did have to. I don't know if that was an in route or that was a slant, or a drag route, but he had to cover some space. And so he had to burn himself literally to catch there, caught it with one hand, pulled it in. So he may have just been tired.
And I like how the bench reacted when Kyler got the pick, because everybody know that Kyler's been going through. Everybody greeted him. Justin jumping off the bench, to see that. And then, the Roquan Smith pick, even though I'm still team trade Roquan. I love Quan, but,
I will be forever team trade him.
Team trade Roquan. Give me some picks. You saw the Panthers got with Christian McCaffrey? If they can get that for Christian McCaffrey, what the hell do you think we can get for Roquan Smith?
Oh, they fleeced the Niners. Niners did not need him. Whatever.
Yeah, to me, that was a dumb trade, because the Niners ain't one player away. That's a trade that the fucking Bucks make, or the Panthers, or not the Panthers, but the Chiefs
would have made sense for the Bucks.
If you'd have went to Buffalo, they'd be cheating.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So if they can get that for a guy who, and I'm not saying that Chris McCaffrey ain't great, he is, but he's not fucking healthy. So if they can get that for a guy who's not healthy, what the hell do you think we can get for Roquan? So Roquan keep boosting up that trade value. But the thing that I noticed about that, and Alex Brown told it too, Dominique Robinson, that was a tip. We finally got a tip pick. That was a tip that led to that. And then fumble recovery. Defense was good, held them to 14 points. Against Commanders, held in 12. Do you feel like, compared to the Giants game, they was getting exposed in the Giants game?
Ooh, that was bad.
Do you feel like this defense is slowly starting to come together? We saw more rushes in this game, had a couple sacks. What do you like from the defense these last couple weeks?
I will say no. I think my answer is both no to none of them, because once again, those 2 games are great. I don't start seeing a pattern until it's 3. 3 games of this, I'll say, yeah, you're putting together something good. As I said, Justin Fields, I think, has been putting together 3 solid games or 3 games of progression. The offense is on 1 game of progression right now, because the game against the Commanders stunk. The defense are on 2 games right now. So give me a third, then I'll say yes. But that Giants game, you couldn't defend an inside zone. You couldn't defend an RPO. And they ran it consecutively. They ran against the Packers, but at least the Packers several times stopped it. Was it the week before last or last week? So, I'm a week before last. I'm paused on it, but maybe they are.
Yeah, I'll say, of course, I'm not going to, go crazy, but I do like what I'm seeing these last couple of weeks. And one thing I'll say from the defense in general, even the games that they were ass, the second half, they've been amazing. Yeah. I think it's just been a matter of putting the 2 games together. And also, the couple games they did get exposed. Jalen Johnson's a top 5 corner in the league. Yeah. Period. I don't even fucking know what I say. That secondary, Steven. I feel like the secondary is starting to become the strength of this team. You know what I'm saying? And that's something there. And I know we all wanted wide receivers too, but the secondary was just as bad. I don't think a lot of Bears fans understand just how god awful this secondary has been. Like 2018, I think they were great on turnovers more than they were great coverage wise. Like this is the team that's getting the secondary is doing good coverage wise more than anything, and that's what I like to see. And I think like this is something to build on. This entire game is something to build on. Now, just because I'm saying it's something to build on, now they have to do it. Now they have to actually build upon it and start stacking games to where we're sitting here a month from now, and I'm in New York. On this day a month from now, we'll be in New York, and I'm like, okay, going into the Jets game, I know what I'm gonna expect from this team because they have an identity. That's the word I was looking for. Identity. You can be a rebuilding team and still have an identity. The Giants have an identity. We all know Daniel Jones sucks, but the way that they've been scheming it is they don't put him in harm's way.
No.
They can win a game with this nigga throwing for 80 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have a identity. Their identity is play good defense, run the ball, and don't have him turn the ball over. And that's how it is. So if the Bears can get an identity a month from now, that's all that you can ask for from this season. And then Ryan Poles can take this situation, and then we can actually see what his actual plan is. Because we don't really know what his plan is. We know that he was going to strip it down. We all knew he was going to strip it down. I don't think we knew it was going to be as excruciating to watch as it's been 7 weeks in. But we all knew that he was going to strip it down. So the next year, we actually get to see what exactly the hell his plan is. So that's what I want over this next month is I want the identity from this ball club.
I agree.
So, did we have any voicemail? I guess we didn't.
No.
Of course we didn't, because y'all never leave voicemails when niggas win.
But only when they lose.
Only when we lose. Only excruciating losses, too. Because we didn't have one during the Commanders game either.
No.
So, but anyway, man, that's all we got for y'all. We'll be back next week. You want to follow us on Twitter at BarberChairScott, at Flows and Dolini. Follow the Barbers Chat Network at Barbers Chat Net. Follow 79th Halas, 79th A&D Halas. We will not be at the game next week. So, you know, I actually, Joe, you're going to have to live tweet because I'll be covering the Clippers and Pelicans game. So I'll be watching Zion for the first time. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. Subscribe. No summer sessions this week. No, I'm not going to hold you this week. I'm taking a staycation. So for my 34th birthday. So I'm not going to be doing shit as soon as I upload this. But Joe will be at Soldier Field for Bears Dolphins, and I'll be back, baby, on 13th, and y'all gonna have to deal with me for the rest of the fucking season. So I will be willing. We taking a drive down to the A.
Yes, sir.
We taking a road trip down to the A. It's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a Bears fan. It's gonna be a home game. It's gonna be Soldier Field South. So if you down in Atlanta and you see us, holler at us. We gonna holler at you. We know a lot of people going to the game. If you're going to be in New York, holler at your boy. I'll be in New York City for the Bears Jets game. We're going to be at the rest of the game for the rest of the year. So, yeah, man, is it time for In the Hunt season?
No.
I'm playing. I'm trolling. Even though I laughed when I went before we started recording, I came from the bathroom and I saw on SportsCenter In the Hunt, and they had the Bears over there with the Packers and the Bucs. Because there's a lot of half the NFL is 3-4 right now.
I know. There's some nasty
a lot of bad football.
I did not like the football Sunday. I was not enjoying it.
I ain't like football the last 3 weeks.
That's true.
It's been bad, but that Goodell narcotic is too strong. But anyway, man, we out of here, man. We'll holler at y'all next week.
79th at Halas,